Hey, World of Metal. We're Warm Gadget. Thank you for
So,
having us here for this interview. We hope to answer all your questions, and I hope you guys enjoyed this.
yeah, I would say we're proud of it. I think you could say it's probably our best work so far, maybe. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we're very proud of this album. I wouldn't say this is the peak of our sound by any means. I think that we're going to continuously grow and move forward and bring some ideas to the table that could break some new ground within our genres. But we're pretty pumped on this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. Pretty solid. Yeah, that's cool. I don't mind the comparison. We like both bands. Some of their albums more than others, that's for sure. But I would say we're both fans of those bands. So I don't think we sound like them, but I don't mind the comparison. That it doesn't bother me.
We are fans of Ministry and Nine Inch Nails, but we're fans of so much more. And I think it's easy to throw a blanket on top of it and say, these guys sound like these guys. But if you were to really dissect what we're doing, you'd see elements from multiple different genres, multiple different artists. At times we wear our influences on our sleeves, but we're also ripping them off of our sleeves, blending them up into a pot, and including our own stylistic choices. There's much more going on than just Nine Inch Nails or Ministry. You've got Helmet, you've got David Bowie, you've got Godflesh, on and on and on.
I feel like if you use like programmed drums or like sample drums and like a lot of electronic instruments and stuff like that with heavier guitars, you're gonna get the Ministry Nine Inch Nails thing thrown around or compared to. Like, I get it. So, but I would say like we don't even listen to either one of them that much, really. I don't. Definitely listen to a lot of other stuff, but yeah, I don't mind the comparison. The recording process was kind of how it always goes. I started demoing out stuff in the studio and programming drums and creating loops and things like that, and just kind of start making the skeleton, structures of songs. And then once I have stuff to where it's like feels like I've got a song, I'll send it over to Tim. Tim will, add his style to it or make changes or suggest, maybe we do this or we do that or suggest samples. And then once it's the structure's there, then he writes all the lyrics and vocals. But yeah, I would say it was similar as usual. I think we spent a little more time on the production side of things this time around. But most of the production is done ourselves. We usually, everything's played by us or written by us other than like our guest friends and musicians that came in. Like we had Paige Hamilton from Helmet came in on this one and added guitar and vocals, which was awesome because we're big Helmet fans. And so that was really cool to have him on it. But other than that, like we usually, we did have some help mixing it, and obviously we, get it mastered by somebody else. Like I don't do that.
I think it was very similar. Colton was the workhorse on this. He wrote and recorded the majority of every single track and instrument that you hear. We did have some additional players, most notable Paige Hamilton from Helmet. We had one of our friends, Davey, come in and play bass.
My brother Austin played a little bit of guitar and bass. And then Paige laid down that crazy ripping guitar solo and added vocals to the chorus. Yeah. So Adam Pike out of Portland did some mixing on the record.
We had mixing for Debutante featuring Paige Hamilton, wrapped up by Adam Pike from Toad House Studios in Portland, Oregon. Most of the mastering was done by Jeff Swearingen.
Yeah. And then the artwork all that was mostly us, but also like the label permission handled a lot of the help with the layouts and just, making it look slick and getting it ready for pressing.
And now you have this beautiful product that you can go out and purchase.
Yeah, I would say the industrial scene is going strong here, I think. I mean, we know of a lot of bands that kind of fall into that category. Even bands like, Lament Cityscape from Portland, who are friends of ours, who are on this record too, as far as they did a remix. They're going strong. Dread Risks is another one. They're label mates of ours are on the same label. They did a remix for us. We remixed them. Those guys are going strong. Like I feel like I feel like the scene's definitely good. It's more of an underground scene for sure. And then you've got bigger bands. Bands like Health and Three Teeth that are, you could say, fall into that industrial metal category, and those are big bands. I mean, those guys are doing big stuff. So I would say the scene's strong in my opinion. If we fall into that scene, some people say we do.
Yeah, we kind of dance around and have our toes dipped into multiple scenes. Electronic and industrial music, I think, are growing. As Colton said, bands like Health that are doing international touring and really making a large mark on the current wave. And metal is still huge worldwide, obviously quite big here in the States. There's even been, I would say, a pretty fair new metal type of insurgence or resurgence with Linkin Park coming back and Limp Bizkit coming back, and
or even like Deftones are bigger than ever.
Deftones.
We've always been Deftones fans, and those guys are as big as they've ever been, if not bigger. So I feel like heavy music in general.
Things are still going strong, and we're glad to be coming out in our own right amongst all of this progression. We would love to come to Europe and play all over Europe if possible. Currently, right now, we have just gotten back into the studio and we're starting to work on some different stuff that we've had on the back burner. In our personal lives, we're both relatively busy as well. Colton's doing a lot of audio production and film work, stuff to that degree. I would say we would love to get to Europe, and we do have plans in the future to get there. Hopefully on one of the many festivals.
Yeah, I would say whenever the time is right, I guess the opportunity's there and the time is right, like we'll be there.
Europe, bring us to you.
Yeah.
This is Colton. I'm Tim. We're Warm Gadget. Thanks again, World of Metal.
Thanks.